Hello and welcome to this orientation webinar for volunteers at the National PBIS Leadership Forum. We've been communicating with you over email the last few months about your interests and availability and put together a volunteer schedule which we hope you'll find to be fair and balanced and gives you time to network and enjoy the event. We want to express our gratitude for your willingness to help. It takes many people working together to pull off an event like this, and we honestly couldn't do it without you. Your role is so important, and we want you to know how much you are appreciated. We hope you'll find volunteering enjoyable and will consider joining us in the future. If you have any feedback about improving this experience, please let us know. This video will provide you with information on volunteering, and this video will be especially important for those scheduled to work before the on-site orientation takes place. This information does not replace the on-site orientation, so please be sure to attend. There, we will again review assignments and provide the most up-to-date information. Also, at that meeting, you will have the opportunity to swap assignments with other volunteers if you wish to do so. The information shared in this video and at orientation can be found in the volunteer guide, which was emailed to you alongside this video and will also be in our event app. The first page of the handout provides you with important logistics, maps of the facility, and information on who to contact, along with the Wi-Fi password and access to the mobile app. Your main point of contact as a volunteer throughout the event is the volunteer coordinator. The volunteer coordinator will be positioned near the information desk throughout the event. You can also take your questions to anyone with a green ribbon on their name tag. This includes the event planning team and others positioned at the info desk in the registration area. For technology questions and issues, look for the technology coordinator. Unless that tech coordinator is out and about checking on tech issues, they will be near the info desk. We'll also have AV support throughout the space. If you are facilitating a session and you need support, you can talk to the AV staff directly. Finally, Wi-Fi and mobile app information is also on the first page of the volunteer guide. Participants will connect to the network with a specific password. Participants can download the mobile app from the App Store or the Google Play Store. You'll also notice that the volunteer guide contains maps of the event space. Rooms are spread out on different floors, so we expect some of the participants will need help navigating. Once you arrive on site, please familiarize yourself with the event space, noting how to get from one place to the next, as this will be very helpful information to provide to participants who do need assistance. For those of you working the registration or the info desk, we definitely suggest orienting yourself with the space. You'll have an opportunity to do so through a scavenger hunt on the night of the volunteer orientation, so we do hope you'll join us. Being available to the large group of participants we have this year is really key to volunteering. This leads us to a very important message. As a volunteer for the forum, you are a member of the event planning team. Anything you can do to make the experience smooth and enjoyable to all participants is very much appreciated. Before we provide an overview on the volunteer assignments, let's talk about how you can communicate with the volunteer coordinator while on site. Follow the directions in your login email to get yourself into the app. In the event app, as a volunteer, you have exclusive access to two icons: Volunteer Info and Volunteer Chat. Volunteer info is all the information from your volunteer guide conveniently located in your app. Click once on the icon, and inside you'll find much of what we'll discuss in this video. Volunteer Chat is a messaging feature that you will use to communicate with the volunteer coordinator. Click once on the icon. Once inside, click on the pen paper icon at the top right corner to begin a new chat message.
Use the search field to type in Sarah Teeter, SARATEETER.
Once the name shows up in suggested contacts, click on the name, begin the conversation, and remember to hit send. Now, onto the volunteer assignments. The first assignment we will review is registration check-in. Registration and check-in will occur mostly on the day before the event and in the early morning of the first day of the event. We expect about a third of our participants to check in at some point the day before, but majority of the remaining will check in during a 1.5 hour window prior to the opening session on the first day of the event. There will be a few after that, but the real push to check in will occur early. If you are stationed in the registration area, please keep everyone moving and prevent lines from building. Let's talk about the details of registration and checking in. Registration check-in is a two-step process. Participants will check themselves in on the computer. They will then find their name tag and then pick up a lanyard. We will have volunteers staffed at each of these areas, and we hope you can help guide the participants to where they need to be. You may be asked if attendees can check in their colleagues, which is not a problem as many are attending as a team, but do ask them to let their colleagues know so they don't try to check in again. They can pick up materials for the group, or their colleagues can stop by to get materials themselves. If you're volunteering at the computer check-in area, you'll be directing people to available computers and instructing them to follow the prompts on screen to complete their check-in. Mainly, you'll be overseeing the process and giving assistance when needed. During busy times, which is mainly the morning on day one of the event, and if the lines get long during pre-event check-in, we have a much quicker method of checking in with a link in our registration system. If you are scheduled for computer check-in on the day before the event or volunteering in any capacity from 7 to 8:30 a.m. on day one of the event, be sure to have the link to our system bookmarked on your mobile device. This was included in the volunteer guide sent via email. This link gives you administrative access into our system so you can complete the check-in for attendees by simply typing in a few letters of their name. This link is easy to use and we'll go over it during the on-site volunteer orientation. If you need help with the link, you can visit the volunteer coordinator at any time near the info desk. During check-in, if you notice someone having difficulty, the easiest thing to do is look them up with your phone using the administrative access link to the registration system. If you find them, go ahead and check them in and they can continue on to get their name tag. Using this method, you may find that they are already checked in, probably by a colleague. In this case, they're all set and you should continue on to the name tag table. If you don't find them this way, you may ask if they're a substitute for someone, and if so, you can help them locate the name tag of that person and then send them to the info desk to complete a registration information change form. They'll be checked in automatically after they visit the info desk for this update to their registration record and will get a name tag in their own name. If you cannot locate them in the system, they will need to go straight to the info desk for assistance. The name tags are spread out on display so participants can find it themselves for the most part. First name is in large text on the tag, last name is in smaller text on the tag. Tags are set up alphabetically by last name. Mention that their schedule is in My Agenda in the Event app. Participants have pre-registered for all sessions. The expectation is that participants will attend only the sessions they have pre-registered for. If a participant asks about changes to their pre-selected agenda, please instruct them to do so in the app. Once they have their name tag, direct them toward the lanyards. Remember to give them a warm send-off to enjoy the event. Comments such as, "Enjoy the event," "Thanks for coming," or "Glad you could join us," or whatever works for you, will leave them with a positive first impression, which is very important. Also, you'll assist those who are having trouble locating their name tag. It is possible that a participant may tell you their name tag is incorrect. If that happens, direct them to the info desk to fill out a registration information change form, and a new name tag will be printed for them. If you are volunteering in the lanyard area, you'll be providing each person with a lanyard. This is a very good time to mention the app and ask if they have downloaded it yet. Information on downloading the app was sent via email to all participants. This is also another great opportunity to give them a warm send-off. Replenish lanyards as needed. If you are working at the information desk, your role is to help participants with any questions they may have. They may be asking general questions, or they've been sent to the info desk because of an issue, or they may be a walk-in and simply need to register. This will be a very busy place pre-event and early on day one. Once the event is underway, things slow down significantly and you will mainly get general questions. There is a manual at the info desk that should have all the answers you'll need. The info desk is where the volunteer coordinator will spend most of their time, so please visit them there when help is needed. Let's delve into some of the frequent situations during that busy time at the info desk, starting with those who were referred to the info desk because they were unable to check in. Use your mobile device to search for them in the registration system. Type a few letters of their last name to search, and if you find the participant, check them in and direct them to the name tag table. If they don't appear in the search, you can check on the master registration list, which is a paper list at the info desk. Search for them there or ask one of the event planning team to look them up on their computer. If they are found at this point, note their name on a registration information change form, write registered and unable to check in the area with the checkboxes. The participant can then continue on to the name tag table. But if they are not on the master list or in the system at all, they will need to register as a walk-in. To register someone, have them complete the registration information change form. Be sure to verify that the form is filled out completely and legible, and then direct them to one of the computers to register themselves. Once they have completed the form and registered, let them know that they can pick up their name tag after the first breakout session has ended. It will be on the name tag table. Other frequent situations that are handled similarly are substitutions and name tag changes. In both cases, we need to update our registration system with the changes and issue the participant a new name tag. So please have them complete the registration information change form, ensuring it is complete and legible, and then let them know we will print a name tag and it can be picked up at the name tag table after the first breakout session has ended. Someone may also come to the information desk to submit a payment. If paying by cash, check, or money order, accept the payment, and verify the names of all participants the payment is covering. Attach the names to the payment and give it to one of our event planning team members at the info desk. You can provide a receipt to them if needed. If submitting a purchase order, verify that the names of the participants are listed on the purchase order and file it in the designated area for later processing. Finally, if they are paying with a credit card, they can do so online. Directions on how to do this are located on our event website. Look for the credit card section. Let's review some of the general questions you may get at the information desk. You may get inquiries about continuing education credits or proof of attendance. Note that this event does not provide any type of credits to participants. They may need assistance in locating a session room, restroom, or an ATM. Be sure to familiarize yourself with the layout of the facilities to prepare for staffing the information desk. If there are issues with Wi-Fi or the app, connect them with the tech coordinator or the tech assistant volunteers. You may get receipt requests. Note that receipts can only be provided for payments made during the event via cash, check, or money order, and if asked about payment status, they should send an email to support@midwestpbis.org, and the event planning team will reply after the event has ended. Be sure to review the event reference book at the info desk, and if you don't have an answer to a question, find the volunteer coordinator or one of the forum planning team members. The next volunteer role we will talk about is ushers. Volunteering as an usher occurs before and during the first day's opening session, the second day's keynote and closing session, along with any overflow space. There are 8 volunteers assigned to the session space and 6 in the overflow room. Be sure to find the head usher and note others who are volunteering with you so you can communicate clearly. During the volunteer orientation, we will have the head usher for each opening, keynote, and closing session stand up so you can note who they are. The main responsibility as an usher is to make sure every seat is filled. Keep participants moving to their seats, preventing groups from standing in doorways. Close the doors when the session begins. If the room is full, direct participants to the overflow space. About 30 minutes after the start of the session, work together to count participants in the room, and the head usher will be responsible for messaging the total number of participants to the volunteer coordinator in volunteer chat in the app. Please include the room name you are in. Some volunteers have the assignment of traffic control during the busy morning times on the days of the event. Several volunteers are scheduled for traffic control prior to the opening and keynotes to direct participants to the session space and overflow space. The meals traffic control volunteers will be directing participants to the meals area. Also, direct participants toward the opening or keynote area as they leave the meals area in the morning. Once on site, we will let you know the optimal place to be located, but be sure to familiarize yourself with the layout of the event space to prepare for this assignment. The special meals assistants will distribute specially arranged meals to people who pre-submitted dietary restrictions. This will occur during the morning on both days of the event in the breakfast area. You'll have a list of those who are receiving the special meals, and you'll check them off the list as they arrive. For the Friday afternoon snack special meal assistant, you'll be stationed at the info desk. Session facilitators is the next assignment we'll go over. There are breakout session facilitators who are assigned to sessions occurring throughout both days of the event, and there are also session facilitators for the
75-minute facilitated discussion
held on the afternoon of day 1. We'll start with breakout session facilitators and then point out a few additional steps for those in facilitated discussions. Most sessions have 2 facilitators scheduled. Please coordinate responsibilities with your co-facilitator. As a facilitator, you should plan to arrive to the room early so the presenter is supported and ready for the session. Arriving early also allows you to meet up with the other volunteer you'll be working with. You can divide the responsibilities between the 2 of you. Each session room will have a wireless microphone and an LCD projector. Make sure the presenter is comfortable with the use of the equipment. In the past, there has been some confusion with missing microphones, but be sure to look under papers, behind the screen, and under the equipment table if the microphone is not out in the open.
Remind presenters to turn on subtitles in PowerPoint and position at the top of the slide area.
Ask the presenter if they'd like a 5 or 10-minute warning so you can indicate to them the end of the session is nearing. Ask the presenter to ensure a few minutes will be left at the end of the session for participants to complete the session evaluation. Presenters do have an evaluation reminder slide in their presentation noting all the ways to access evaluations. Participants have pre-registered for all sessions. The expectation is that participants will only attend sessions they have pre-registered for. Monitor the door and seating to minimize disruptions and encourage use of all available seating. Assist participants in finding a seat in the room. When all seats are taken, flip over the sign on the easel outside of the door to display the session is full sign and close the door. Please remember to flip it back at the end of the session. Some presenters may have handouts to be passed out, but most will be submitting them to be accessed electronically in the app and at pbis.org where they can be viewed and downloaded. 30 minutes after the session has started, count the number of participants in your session and use volunteer chat in the app to message the session room name and the number of participants to the volunteer coordinator. At the end of the session, please assist participants as needed with finding and completing the session evaluation.
The 75-minute facilitated discussions
are formatted as facilitated discussions on pre-selected topics. The discussion leader has created guiding questions for the group. However, participants are encouraged to submit and ask questions. There will be a large white envelope in the session room on or near the projection cart, which contains note cards and pens. Participants can use these supplies to submit questions or specific discussion points prior to the start of the session. Pass out the note cards to participants as they come into the room, and as cards are completed, bring them to the discussion leader. To ensure the discussion leader has time to review the cards and plan the discussion, please bring the cards as they are completed rather than all at once. In these facilitated discussions, all other session facilitation directions apply as we previously discussed. If you are assigned as a float, you'll be filling in where needed. This is a very important job. You'll be located at the information desk unless you are asked to fill in elsewhere. Prepare for this role by familiarizing yourself with the info desk responsibilities, in addition to reviewing the other volunteer roles we've discussed in this video and in the volunteer guide. Poster session setup assistance will help the poster session facilitator with the setup of the poster session. Some of the work will include unpacking the poster display boards and setting them up on the tables, helping presenters to find their display location, providing double-stick tape and tacks to poster presenters, and answering questions and providing general assistance. Please note, we do have a photographer who will be photographing the poster presenters. Volunteer assistants help the volunteer coordinator. Prior to the start of the sessions, we will ensure scheduled session facilitators are in place and briefly touch base with them to make sure they know how the session evaluations can be completed. We'll also be following up on missing session counts and noting the rooms that are full. Last but certainly not least, are tech support assistants. This role will assist the tech support team with their work. You may be bringing equipment to or removing equipment from breakout sessions, assisting in verifying the equipment is ready for use in time for session start, helping to arrange tech support when problems arise, and providing assistance to the tech support team as needed. No worries if you don't consider yourself a techie, you'll be fine. You'll meet up with the tech support team at the info desk when it's time to volunteer. We've now summarized all volunteer assignments. We will provide any updates around this info at the volunteer orientation. We're happy to answer questions or provide clarification prior to the on-site orientation. Simply send us an email. We're excited to meet you soon. Take care, safe travels. Thank you again for your volunteerism.